Well, after a pretty disappointing week last week in which the Bulls went 1-3, only to beat the Magic, when I thought the Bulls were going to be going 3-1, given the fact that we're going to be facing teams all below 500 with the exception of the Heat, and especially with one of the teams being the worst in the league, but we're not going to dwell on that now. Time to move forward, and in this video, we're going to be talking about the Bulls games for this upcoming week, things to be looking out for, and keys to each of the games. So what's going on, everyone? You are listening to Bulls Central here. Hope you're all doing well. Now, I may need to make a separate video on this topic because the Bulls schedule has been kind of ridiculous to start the season. In terms of the sheer amount of games they've played in a consolidated period of time, but finally the Bulls are going to be getting somewhat of a break this week in that they have only 3 games with 2 full days off, which seems like it's been a while since the guys have had that kind of break in their schedule. The Bulls kick off this week tonight as they host the Charlotte Hornets, which will be a fun game given the Ball brothers will go head-to-head for the first time this season. The Bulls are then off until Thursday when they travel to New York to take on the Knicks for the 3rd time this season, and then followed by facing the Nets in Brooklyn on Saturday. So more traveling for the Bulls, however, just one trip to New York where they'll be taking on both New York area teams. So just one trip in a week as opposed to multiple destinations like they have been doing in recent weeks. So let's start off with tonight's game at home against the Hornets. Now, the Hornets have had one of the best starts of their season in recent memory, currently with a record of 13-9 and only a half game behind the Bulls in the East standings, and they've won 8 of their last 10 games, and a lot of their success has been thanks to the emergence of both LaMelo Ball and Miles Bridges. LaMelo continues to impress the league, especially me, as I honestly thought LaMelo was a little overhyped coming into the NBA, but he goes on to win Rookie of the Year, and then so far this season he has improved even further because not only has he upped his game on offense, but he has improved dramatically on defense as well, being one of the Hornets' best defenders, leading the team in steals, rebounds, and assists, and he's also second in scoring on the team as he leads the team as well in PER. He does turn the ball over pretty frequently, but that also comes with the overall usage being their leading ball handler and floor general. And I've been incredibly impressed with Miles Bridges, who is having a breakout season averaging over 20 points per game and 7 rebounds, and has been strong on the defensive end as well. I think what impresses me about this Hornets team the most is the balanced scoring they've had across their team. You have 4 players averaging over 17 points per game in Ball, Bridges, Hayward, and Terry Rozier, and they also have Kelly Oubre, who has been averaging just a little under 15 points per game. So they have multiple scoring threats and guys who can get hot in a hurry. Now, where the Bulls can take advantage of with the Hornets is their lack of size and interior presence. Like the Bulls, the Hornets have had to rely more on small ball, and with Plumlee being their starting center, this is a game where Vucevic has to step up and have a big game, and the team has to continue feeding Vucevic in the paint, utilizing him in the pick and roll and pick and pop, and we need to see Vucevic being aggressive going against Plumlee, even if it means missing shots. In a game like this, you need Vucevic putting up more than just 9 attempts like we saw in the game against the Heat. And we also need a big game from Lonzo on the defensive end and locking down his brother LaMelo, not only in defending his outside shooting and drives to the basket, but also in getting in the passing lanes and deflecting attempts at LaMelo running the floor, which makes him so effective as a playmaker. I also anticipate that Javonte Green, potentially Derrick Jones Jr., Alex Caruso will be tasked with guarding Miles Bridges, so we'll need big games from them and ensuring they're not giving Bridges easy looks and also boxing him out for rebounds. Now, Terry Rozier and Gordon Hayward, they're not the best Defenders, so DeRozan and Lavine need to exploit that and feast on offense in this game tonight. Then the Bulls will travel to New York to take on the Knicks on Thursday. Kind of crazy that we're just entering in December and the Bulls have already played the Knicks 3 times. This game will be on NBA TV. The Bulls did a great job at hustling and taking advantage of the Knicks' lack of size in the last time that they met, when Mitchell Robinson and Taj Gibson were both out of the lineup. And at the time of this recording anyway, Taj is still listed as out, and Nerlens Noel, their backup center, is also listed as day-to-day, but Robinson is back in the lineup, which I'm sure we're all wanting a little revenge on him given he ended Patrick Williams' season with that unnecessary flagrant foul. Also, as of right now, Derrick Rose is out with an ankle injury, but will potentially be back in time that this game comes around. But anyway, really the keys to this game aren't much different from the other 2 times the Bulls faced these guys. Obviously, the biggest one, keeping their all-star and all-NBA player in Julius Randle at bay, which the Bulls actually did well in that first game, limiting him to 13 points and 3 for 11 shooting, but the Bulls also let Kemba Walker get hot in that one. But since then, Kemba has kind of come back down to earth, not playing that well, to the point where Rose is even averaging more points than he is. Honestly, the Knicks, they're a good team because they play hard and they have great chemistry, but the Bulls are a better team from top to bottom. I think the challenge will be for Vucevic on offense going against Mitchell Robinson, as he didn't do so well in the first game against him. And then, of course, who's going to be the answer for Randle on offense, whether it be between Javonte Green, Derrick Jones Jr., or even Alizé. Honestly, I still can't figure out why Alizé hasn't been getting more playing time with Patrick Williams being out for the rest of the season, especially since he gives you more size and rebounding. And then, of course, you also can't take Evan Fournier and RJ Barrett lightly on offense. Both of them can produce well with their scoring, although both have been inefficient on offense so far this season. Hopefully, they don't decide to finally start knocking down shots in this game, and you're going to need guys like Lonzo and Caruso ensuring that that doesn't happen. Then the Bulls will close out their week against the best team in the East in the Brooklyn Nets. And the Bulls made pretty good work of the Nets when facing them at the United Center with both Kevin Durant and James Harden playing. KD got his because he's Kevin Durant and you're never going to have an answer for him, especially after the Bulls had just lost Patrick Williams, and guys like Javonte Green and Derrick Jones Jr. just won't cut it in guarding him. But where the Bulls did succeed at in the last game was preventing Harden from getting easy looks, and he was pretty quiet throughout most of that one. And to be honest, that will really be the key to this game as well, because the Bulls, again, simply are not going to have an answer for Kevin Durant. Obviously, you still need to play as tough of defense as you possibly can on him, but he's still going to put up 30 plus points easily, especially with how small the Bulls are playing right now. And so if you're going to focus more of your energy and attention on defense, have it be on Harden, who has struggled this season in adjusting to the new foul rules implemented by the league that haven't really enabled him to get to the foul line as easy. Again, it'll be another big task for both Lonzo and Caruso in pestering Harden and getting him frustrated with his lack of calls. But aside from Kevin Durant and James Harden, what will also be a challenge, which I talked about the last time that these two teams faced off, are the mismatches in the front court, simply because the Nets have so much size and depth at the 4, while the Bulls literally don't have a single true power forward. Well, one that plays anyway. Alizé is really the only one, but the Nets have Kevin Durant, LaMarcus Aldridge, Blake Griffin, Paul Millsap, even James Johnson. So the Bulls are going to really have to rely on their outside game on offense, which recently hasn't been working that well for them, at least when it comes to their three-point shooting. But that is where the Bulls would be able to excel in this game, given the Nets do not have strong perimeter defense with guys like James Harden and Patty Mills running the backcourt. So to be honest, none of these games are going to be easy for the Bulls, although last week I called out how the Bulls games for said week were going to be easy, and of course you can never say a team or game in the NBA is ever going to be easy. I've learned my lesson there. Every team in this league is a professional basketball team and you can't take them lightly. But as far as my predictions for these games, which you guys probably know by now, I'm often not right with these predictions because of how unpredictable this Bulls team and the league can be sometimes. But if I had to take a guess, I'm going to go with 2-1. The Bulls finished this week, only losing to the Nets. I know it's a bit optimistic because really all of these games are going to present challenges in their own way, and I honestly wouldn't be surprised if the Bulls lose all of them. But I can't think that way about this team because of the talent level that they have and how great they have been in bouncing back after losses. I think they'll match up well against the Hornets and the Knicks, and of course, the Battle of the Ball brothers will be a good one at the United Center. But I do think that although the Bulls played a great game against the Nets earlier in the season, I think in Brooklyn, and with the way that the Nets have been playing very well as of late, that the Bulls are going to be hard-pressed to pull out a W in this one. Obviously, I hope I'm wrong, but if I had to predict who comes out on top with a victory in that game, it would be the Nets. I want to know what your guys' predictions are for this week. How do you think the Bulls will do in these 3 games? Which games do you think will be the most exciting to watch? Let me know in the comments. I'll have a live chat for the game tonight and for the rest of the games this week, both on the channel and on the Discord. The link to the Discord can be found in the description. It is free to join and always will be. And guys, as always, be sure to subscribe if you're a Bulls fan, as I do post daily Bulls content. Thanks again for tuning in, guys, and I will catch you in the next one.